Alright, good evening everybody. It's Saturday night, which means one thing: we are live with the Cyber Racing Association's Homes Now Not Later Super Speedway Series. Tonight the guys will be tackling Daytona 07 with the Open Camping World Truck setup, so it's going to be definitely interesting to see who's got the set that's going to be able to be nice and smooth over the bumps and, well, as Dwayne put it earlier in the pre-race show, who's going to be nailing the wall and doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm really curious as to whether or not he caught that damn squirrel or not that he kept flipping the camera around to see. That thing was freaking huge. Looking at the field, we've got 17 entries tonight so far. Hopefully all of them make it onto the track. Fastest time on the board right now belonging to the two of Rick Seabrands with a 46.542. We did have a couple ties for fastest lap, but those seem to have finally dissipated. Second on the board, we've got the 8 of Dana Osborne with a 46.563, followed by the 3 of Paul Servant with a 46.730, the 00 Dwayne Cooper with a 46.791, and the 99 of Tom Labar with a 46.883. So that's going to be the top 5 here in qualifying, as we are just about under a minute now in practice. We'll let these guys get every bit of wrecking out and advance into qualifying. And tonight's race will be 75 laps, with the stages being 25, 50, and then the final stage from 50 to 75. And once again, we will have the 3 laps allocated for the event of 1 green-white checker attempt. So right now we take a look at the 16 of Chris Brown. His fastest lap currently is a 47.081. That puts him 10th on the board. Take a quick look here at the weather. So we got nice track temps for it being, seeing how we traveled back in time to 2007. 90 degrees on the track, 65 degrees in the air, and as always, 55 degrees of relative humidity and humidity. Alright, so the session will advance now. We're going to move over into qualifying. Let's see who can put their truck on the top spot. As we see the 88 of Gregory Thompson make his way out onto the track to get his warm-up underway. You also see the 16 there, that's Chris Brown. As we see the traditional highline run on the out lap, it should carry over through the first lap of qualifying. Then usually you'll see these guys right down on the yellow line all the way around for the second lap. As Chris comes here to complete his out lap here, he will start now. He is officially on the clock. So we see there the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach as he makes his way out onto the track as well. Now this is single car qualifying, so you'll see the numbers and the trucks change up as now we see the 00 there of Dwayne Cooper. Now back to the 88 of Gregory Thompson. It will periodically change around. I think one of the coolest things with this track being this camera right here, we have got a beautiful aerial shot here of the entire Daytona Motor Speedway. Not just the oval, but the road course and everything. So as we wait for the first times to start coming in right now, we're going to see who will get the first lap. We know things are going to shuffle around a little bit here. Now we can see that second lap underway, staying down low on the track here. Now watch as he goes through 3 and 4. He should repeat the same thing, stay about as low as he can to try and maintain a shorter distance around the track. We've got some times starting to come in. We're going to go ahead and see what the 88 here can pull for a lap time. Right now he is currently being scored in third. As he crosses the line that time, that will put him on the top of the board for right now with a 49.845. Behind him, the 66 of Bobby Tinch with a 49.899. The 16 of Chris Brown with a 49.915. The 99 of Tom LeVar with a 49.945, and the 00 of Dwayne Cooper is going to round out the top 5 with a 52.32. So while these guys are here in qualifying, as always, you guys know this, we have the U.S. Army Marching Band always on standby. So we're going to go ahead and bring them out. So everybody, please rise, remove your hats as we bring you tonight's national anthem. All right, fantastic job as always by the U.S. Army Marching Band. They never let us down as we now see the field starting to grid up here. That's going to bring us into tonight's starting lineup. Waiting to see if IRTVO has decided it wanted to unsync itself or not. All right, there we go. Now we can see that things are correct. Starting on the pole tonight will be the 3 of Paul Servant. To his outside fellow Southern Thunder teammate, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. Rolling off third will be, well, here we go. We'll have the front 4 here occupied by Southern Thunder. As we see, starting from third position will be the 8 of Dana Osborne, and to his outside, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper in fourth. So keep that in mind. That is all Southern Thunder there right on the first 2 rows. Rolling off fifth will be the 88 of Gregory Thompson. The 29 of Matthew Welsenbach will start from sixth. The 44 of David Anderson will roll off seventh. 66 of Bobby Tinch will start eighth tonight. The 16 of Chris Brown will roll off from the 9th position. Rounding out the top 10 will be the 99 of Tom LeVar. Roddy Klein on the 94 will start from 11th place tonight. The 95 of Christopher Berry will roll off 12th. The 26 of Daniel Holloway will be your 13th place starter. The 97 of Jeremy Funk will roll off from 14th position. The 2 of Rick Seabrands will be your 15th place starter. The 4 of Justin Levine 16th. Daniel Jackson in the 72 17th. 18th goes to the 20 of Pondo Co, and that is going to round out the field as we are getting ready to get this race underway. The pace car is out. We're on our pace lap here, so less than 1 lap away from taking the green. Now, once again, tonight's race will consist of 3 stages, 25, 50, and then 75. And just because we always love doing it, every opportunity we have, get things set up here for the Crank It Up cameras. For, as always, every restart and initial start of the race is brought to you by the Crank It Up cam, so get those speakers ready. We're going to see some pretty good speed out of these guys tonight, despite the track being the old bumpy Circa 07. We've still seen some very amazing racing as the pace car is making its way through 3 and 4 right now. I'm going to go ahead and shut up and let you guys listen to the raw, unbridled horsepower that these Camping World trucks have. As the pace car makes its way off,
Green flag.
Green flag is out. All right, and as we pull off of the Crank It Up cameras, we see everybody has pretty much gotten sorted where they want to be right now. We're looking right now at the 95 of Christopher Berry being scored in the 10th position, directly in front of him, the 99 of Tom LaBar behind him, the 94 of Roddy Klein, and the 16 of Chris Brown. They come to the line. Right now, they're still holding the same pattern that we saw roll off. We've got Southern Thunder occupying 4 out of the top 5 spots with Paul Servant, Mark Jorgensen Jr., Dana Osborne, and Dwayne Cooper there. Both we can already see that there's one truck that appears to have fallen off of the draft. Looks like that'll be the 97 of Jeremy Funk. So you see, nothing much is really going to change up here right now. These guys are going to be very content to ride side by side. If we rewind back to last week at this time, well, maybe give it about another hour, but rewind to that time. If you guys remember, coming to the checkered flag last week, we had a little bit of teammate on teammate violence, which we had a turned out being a surprise winner, and I believe it was the 81 and the 8 got together there coming out of the tri-oval, and we saw a pretty epic wreck there right at the end of the race, but it did allow for some of the guys that didn't think they were going to be in contention for winning it to actually be right up there and get the 1, 2, 3 spots. Right now we see the outside with just a slight advantage. We know, especially at Daytona 07, the outside line is usually the more preferred line unless you've got a very, very stable setup that eliminates all the bumpiness. If you stay down low, it gets very violent through 1 and 2. It's even violent on the back stretch, and it's not as bad in 3 and 4, but definitely 1 and 2 is the tricky spot on the track. As we see Mark Jorgensen Jr. being scored with 3 laps led, and his fellow teammate, the 3 of Paul Servant, leading the other 2, which will make up all 5 laps that we've completed so far here tonight. Now, once again, these guys do, as always, have one quick fix as their lifeline in case they do get caught up in something. But this is starting to turn to old news, but in case some of you guys are new here, the rule change has been put in effect about 3 or 4 races ago. It used to be they would keep everybody on the lead lap as much as possible all the way up till about 10 to go. Now, if you want your lap back, you either have to be in the iRacing Lucky Dog position, or you have to stay out, not pit, and be in front of the leaders. So you've got to earn your lap back the hard way. Now that is to promote cleaner racing, as we saw too many times drivers getting involved in wrecks or causing wrecks, getting their laps back, put back on the lead lap, and then either getting caught in another one again or causing another one again. That was the majority of the reason why we see the new rules in place, and arguably it's made for some better racing. I think the one race that I'm really looking forward to seeing later on in the upcoming season will be when we return for the second and final time to Monza, Italy with the K&N cars, because we know how fast those cars go around here and Talladega, but I don't think I've ever taken the K&N around Monza, so I don't know how fast it'll go there, but I'm guessing probably about 210 going off into the corners.
Insanity.
No. Insanity's not the word for Monza. I think that's just straight up chaos, as we saw with the trucks when they were there. But it did make for a very entertaining race, I must say that.
I'm still in Italy right now trying to find Artie Peterson's teeth.
I think they gave up on that search a while ago. We did see some of the most spectacular wrecks, Artie Peterson's being one of them, where the one thing with Monza is you got to be really careful coming off of turn 2 onto the backstretch. About halfway down, there is an Armco safer barrier, which I don't know why Italy has Armco. I guess they took and used iRacing used some of the old barrier from Watkins Glen, but it protrudes out on the track. So if you stray off too far to the outside, come on the backstretch, you can head on that thing, and we saw the one of Artie Peterson Jr. do just that, and he did an amazing, he was going about almost 200 miles an hour, dead stop, backflip, turn around and face the camera. We also saw several trucks, including the 94 of Roddy Klein, get loose down there on the low line. Monza is a one-groove track, and we saw them several times try to go below the yellow line down there. You could hold it down there, but coming back up was pretty much about the equivalent of coming off of the apron at Bristol and going up onto the track at 200 miles an hour. As we saw the 94 hook a little hump of grass down there on the inside and violently got bottle rocketed out of the track and reset onto pit road. So hopefully we won't see any of that here tonight, as we are now going to put lap 10 in the books here. Right now we are tied with both the 81 and the 3 leading 5 apiece, so still the front 4 being the 3 of Paul Servant, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr., the 8 of Dana Osborne, and the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. Behind that we have The 29 of Matthew Elzenbach, the 66 of Bobby Tinch, the 88 of Gregory Thompson, the 99 of Tom LeBar, and the 4 of Justin Levine.
Tell you what, Art, for the past about 10 laps, I've been watching that bottom line, and these guys got this setup pretty dialed in. They're not wiggling around too much on that bottom line, especially the 3 and the 8. The 3 and the 8 seem to be, whatever they did with their setup, they got it figured out, and they're barely even moving off that yellow line.
And that's exactly what Dwayne was preaching about in today's pre-race show, other than, like I said, that squirrel that he had some odd obsession with. I mean, he even honked the horn, and it didn't even phase the damn thing. But, yeah, he said you really need to have a good setup here. And if you can get it dialed in just right, you will not see that truck bouncing around on the lower line, as obviously we're seeing with the 3 and the 8 here. They're keeping a nice, solid, steady line. The trucks aren't violently shaking around. They're not bobbling, bouncing. So obviously Southern Thunder stumbled on something, and they've got those trucks dialed in perfectly here as we come to complete lap 12. As we see the 99 of Tom LeBar hung the lone man out there on the high groove, so we're going to be 3 wide. As he gets a little piece of the wall there, he's able to get back in line, but that's going to cost him a lot of positions. Don't know if the damage, we're going to go ahead and go back and look at his truck. We're going to take a little look here on the right front here, the 99 Yeti machine. You can see there's a little bit of damage there. Go on board, you can see just a slight fender pop there off to the right, lower right corner of the screen. So it's not really going to affect him too bad here. Very, very, very minor damage considering scraping the wall at the speed that he did. Meanwhile, as we go back to the most exciting, surprise, surprise, it goes right back out to the front here. So you see the 4 of Justin Levine splitting it 3 wide down the backstretch. He's got, I do believe that is going to be the 26 of Daniel Holloway with him. So as they come off of 4, he's still in the position now. He can finally tuck back in behind the 66 of Bobby Tinch. We saw the run that Justin got there on the backstretch, was not able to pull it through the corners as he was odd man out there. So he's going to dip back in, and we're going to stay double file here. Now, if scoring is showing right here, and I do believe we just saw it right now. We can see the 94, Roddy Klein in the middle. Oh, contact between him and the 4. We're going to stay green here. But that was contact between the 94, Roddy Klein, and the 4 of Justin Levine. And just before that happened, the leaders here are going to be coming up on the first victim to get put a lap down, the 97 of Jeremy Funk, as he is being shown 45 seconds behind the leaders, which means they are about to lap him. They should do so right here. As we can see, he's going to stay low on the backstretch. As right now we're looking at the battle for 7th between the 88 of Gregory Thompson and the 44 of David Anderson. So after that contact there, the 4 and the 94 both heavily damaged. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out as we are going to be getting close to the end of stage 1. Once again, that will be coming at lap 25. Be interesting to see what they do, if they use their quick repairs, if they just sit on pit road and get as much of that damage fixed as possible. Now, the one thing that does benefit these guys is that we do have 3 stages to go here tonight, so they do have the option to sit on pit road and get some of that damage repaired, versus if this was all just one 75 lap race strung out, where it would be a no-brainer, hey, I need to use my quick repair, otherwise I'm going to go 5, 6, 7, 8 laps down. So you see the leaders now making their way up to the 4 of Justin Levine. Justin has opted to use his quick fixes. You can see that number 4 Chevy Silverado is looking like a Silverado again instead of a hybrid Colorado or S10. So we can see now Southern Thunder has gone all down onto the bottom line here, as we got a couple cars coming down pit road right now. That was the 29 and 88 making their way down pit road. We also have the 94 and the 95 on pit road right now. So some of these drivers are opting to take their pit stops a little bit early here. Now, once again, lap 25 will end the stage. We have word that the 00 will be pitting, so let's see if the 81, the 3, and the 8 come down with them. And yes, they will. The entire front pack, as we've got a mass exodus here coming down pit road. So you see the 00 there opting to go to the inside wall. That's going to cost him a few spots, but let's see what he could do coming off of pit road. As we watch everybody here come down to their respective boxes. You see the 3 and the 81. The 81 edging off the 3 there, as well as the 8. You see the 66 Bobby Tinch. A lot of guys switching up spots here as they make their way back off of pit road. Now, right now, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. is holding on to the lead. These guys have to stay low on the apron until they get onto the Baxter, so there's no merging before that. So as these guys get sorted out and get back up to speed here, we see the first cycle of green flag pit stops pretty much all done here. And I gotta say, Mike, that was pretty impressive with the amount of trucks that came down there. For nobody to make contact, that's actually pretty impressive, seeing how narrow it gets there from the access getting on the pit.
Yeah, that was organized chaos.
As we see the 66 here of Bobby Tinch leading the pack around. He is going to be scored as the race leader as they come up on the 94. Looks like the 94 might be doglegging a little bit. So right now with the race lead, we see that now things have shaked out. The 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. on that high side, with help from his Southern Thunder teammates, are easily able to clear the 66 and the 2. We see now the 00 Dwayne Cooper trying to make his way around the 66 of Bobby Tinch and get in line behind his teammates as well. The only driver in the mix there that is not Southern Thunder in the top 5 will be the 44 of David Anderson. You see Dwayne not able to do so. He's probably going to dip back in behind the 2 of Seabrands as we see the 94 of Roddy Klein staying high. That will put him right now, if a caution were to come out, in the lucky dog position. As they barrel out of turn 2, we see a good push there by the 3 of Paul Servant, as well as a good push by the 44 of David Anderson to the 8 of Dana Osborne there on the outside line. But 4 trucks against 2, I'm going to bet that the inside line is going to be a little bit more dominant.
Just as you say that, the 8 gets a gigantic run on the outside.
It always happens that way. Every time I say something, these guys do something to contradict what I say. I think they're secretly, are watching while it's happening, and then they make a move just to make my point invalid. This is the white flag for the stage, so once they come around here to make lap 25, we will see the caution flag fly. That will not be, unless they decide to wreck before they make it to the stripe. Once they get here to complete this lap, we will see the end of stage 1 as the 8 trying to save it off of turn 4. Caution's going to come out, but that will be the end of the stage. The 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. will take stage 1. And once again, that is what we've seen time after time after time, a bump gone bad. All right, we're going to take a look at that one. That's going to be between the 44 of David Anderson and the 8 of Dana Osborne. Here we see him coming off the corner here. This is on the backstretch. Everything looking good so far. We're also going to note that the 26 of Daniel Holloway got collected in that as well. But keep your eyes peeled on the first 2 trucks there on the outside line, the 8 and the 44, as they come off of turn 4. You can see right there, Dave just a little too low. Dana trying to save that truck. The 44 and the 8 both going around, and then a hard impact into the wall there by the 8 of Dana Osborne. We're also going to go on board with the 44. This is right at the point. You can see where the hook happens. Dave gets spun around there. Contact there with the 26. Dave able to refire it. Dana, unfortunately, makes a hard hit to the inside wall. We're going to back up and look at Dana's as well. This is riding on board from the standpoint of the 8 here. There's the contact. That's actually Bobby Tinch, as we see an impressive piece of wreck avoidance there. I'm going to back it up again here, and this time we'll get on board with the 8. Now we're riding on board with the 8 of Dana Osborne. There we see the contact, there's the turn, you see Dana trying to save the truck. There's the additional contact with the 26, and as he's trying to save it, makes a hard smack. So the 26 getting a really hard hit as well. See a little bit of damage there on the nose of the 00 too of Dwayne Cooper. Another interesting thing to note too as well is the 3 of Paul Servin has a little bit of damage to that 3 machine as well. We saw that the 97 of Jeremy Funk was waved by, so that was an admin call there, as once again, usually with the new rule package, there are no wave bys. So the lucky dog going to the 94 of Roddy Klein, as we are working the end of the stage and the first caution that brought it out. We're going to go ahead and cut to a quick commercial break and return to the action here at Daytona International Speedway. right, as we return, the lights on, the pace car are out. We're going to double the field back up here, get them ready for the restart. Quick run through here of the top 10. Restarting with the lead will be the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. Starting to his outside will be the 66 of Bobby Tinch, the 2 of Rick Seabrands in third, 16 of Chris Brown fourth, the 8 of Dana Osborne fifth, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. sixth. The 44 of David Anderson will restart 7th, the 4 Justin Levine 8th, Daniel Holloway in the 26th, 9th, and rounding out the top 10 will be the 3 of Paul Servant. And as always, since the lights are out, we are going to go ahead and get ready for some crank it up action here. Pace car drops down on the pit road. Green flag is back out. We're back underway, so rip the knob off those speakers and crank it up. All right, as they come off of turn 4, we see the outside line getting the run at the line. That will give Bobby Tinch the lap that time around. That'll be his second lap led here tonight. 00 with 5. The 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. with 12. The 3 of Paul Servant with 11. Once again, the run that the outside line is getting there. The 66 looked to drop low in front of the 00, was not able to do it, so wisely he was able to get back up in front of the 16 of Chris Brown as they come to the line once again, the outside with the advantage. Bobby will lead another lap here. See the 4 Justin Levine in the mix, the 3 of Paul Servant, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. there on the outside line. That would explain why we've got a lot of momentum. Those guys are a hell of a drivers. And now we see the 66 able to clear the 00. That'll put him in the top dog spot on the bottom line, but that's going to open it up to the 16 of Chris Brown here as they come out of turn 4. And it looks like the 16 is going to lead his first lap of the night here, and he will do so. You see the 8 of Dana Osborne also in the mix there, getting a good push by his teammate, the 3 of Paul Servant. We see once again the run on the outside line as the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. trying to get in front of the 16. He was able to clear the 66 that time. And at the line easily, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. leading that lap. Right now, he does have the advantage. We're going to go 3 wide through turns 1 and 2 here. Once again, this is the second time we've seen the 4 of Justin Levine up there on the high side. We see the 20 of Pondo in line there as well. He was looking to maybe go up to their third line, but he did not do so. As the 4 will fall in front of the 20. Right now, Mark is hanging on to that by himself, but he's got the 4 of Justin Levine coming up quickly to help him with the push. As you can see right there, the 81 get a little bit tail happy. That was from the bump from the 4, so the 81 will lead another lap here. As we see now, the 4 and the 81 looked like they were both going to drop, but now I think we're going to see the 4 Justin Levine. He's going to drop to the inside. The 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. going to stay on that outside line. So Justin coming to the line will lead his first lap of the night here at Daytona. And as they race the line, once again, it'll be the 4 of Justin Levine leading that lap. That'll be his second of the night, but we see now the charge being mounted by the 81 again. He's got help from the 20 of Pondoco, the 44 of David Anderson, and the 95 of Christopher Berry. We see now the 8 of Dana Osborne. He's going to drop to the inside of the 4 Justin Levine. So now we've got Southern Thunder occupying the bottom and top groove here as they come to the line. It's going to be a drag race between the 8 and the 81. Dana will get that lap. Take a look there at the 88 of Gregory Thompson right now being scored in 9th position. Now we see that he's got help from the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach there. The 95 of Christopher Berry to the outside. And at the line easily once again will be the 8 leading another one. Now we see the 4 of Justin Levine with the crossover coming off of turn 2 there. He's going to dip out in front of the 81 of Mark Jurgensen Jr. as they barrel down the backstretch. You see the 81 is going to dive down in front of his teammate there. So now we've got Southern Thunder 1, 2, 3 on the bottom groove. The only driver from that team not in the mix right now is the 00. He's their 4th truck on the outside line. We look at this outside line here consisting of the 4 of Justin Levine, the 20 of Pondoco, the 44 of David Anderson, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper, and the 95 of Christopher Berry. At the line by about a half a truck will be the 4 of Justin Levine. Right now, I think what's really benefiting the 4 of Justin Levine is how committed the 20 of Pondoco is sticking to the bumper there. You can see on corner entry there, he is sticking out to breathe. As you see the 00 get a piece of the wall there, almost collected the 95 of Christopher Berry with him, but luckily the 95 was able to back out enough. That is going to kill a lot of speed though from that 95, but it's better than being put in the wall. Now we see that the 4 of Justin Levine has been able to drop down in front of the 81. That'll give him the top spot on the inside line, leaving the 20 of Pondoco and the 44 of David Anderson, as well as the 16 as we see Southern Thunder coming down for their green flag service. And if we look up into the front, seeing how live chat has been going absolutely batshit with a bunch of retards tonight, going the lap down will be the 94 of Roddy Klein. As we see now the 20 of Pondoco, he's been able to inherit the top position here. And there we see Roddy hit the wall as the field goes by. Kind of hard to do when they're all single file. As we see the mass exodus, everybody coming down pit road for their second set of green flag stops. As the drivers make their way back off of pit road. See the 88 of Gregory Thompson there, but the winner off of pit road will be the 44 of David Anderson. So he will inherit the lead with the battle off of pit road. So as it stands right now, it'll be the 44 of David Anderson, the 88 of Gregory Thompson, the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach, the 4 of Justin Levine, the 66 of Bobby Tinch, the 20 of Hondo Co., the 16 of Chris Brown, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr., the 3 of Paul Servant, and the 8 of Dana Osborne, rounding up the top 10. As we look, we see the 81, the 3, and the 8 have all hooked up, and that means one thing: these guys are going to start marching their way up towards the front of the field. As right now we can see the 44 of David Anderson, he is in the worst possible spot that he can be right now. He's sitting all by himself. When these guys get to him, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go 3 wide around him. And this is going to be the deciding move right here. And that was a very interesting move, to say the least. The 4 of Justin Levine actually checked up to pick up the 44, and we saw that kind of spread out the other guys that was running in that pack. So they didn't really lose much time, but that did allow the 81, the 3, and the 8 to easily get around no problem.
Yeah, it was almost like the 4 didn't call out that he was checking up, and everyone behind him just had no idea what he was doing.
It almost looked like there's a little bit of contact between the guys there, as we saw a couple of the trucks almost hit the wall there on the back stretch. So now we see the 3 and the 8. They're going to opt to go to the outside line, as the 44 of David Anderson, who was stranded all by himself, is now tucked up behind the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. That is, all credit goes to the 4 Justin Levine for that happening right there. Otherwise, Dave would have been completely screwed. As they come to the line, it'll be the 3 of Paul Servant leading his 12th lap of the night here. Right now, our driver with the most laps led is the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. with 16, Paul with 12. So Paul's only got a few more laps to go around to tie his teammate. But we know, we've seen Paul and Dana and Mark race a lot. It's really hard competition, even though they're teammates. They don't really race like their teammates when they're up front like this. It's anybody's guess who's going to be the lap leader. We see once again by about a half a truck there, the 3 of Paul Servant on the outside is going to be scored with that lap. This will be the white flag lap for the stage, so these guys are fighting it out to see who's going to come home with the top spot. Can the 3 and the 8 off of turn 4 make the run and get it? Or is it going to be the inside line? My bet is going to be the 3 of Paul Servant winning this one, and he will do so.
Caution, caution, caution.
That will end stage 2. We see contact after the stage.
It's all on you, man. It's all on you. You make the call here.
We're going to take a look and see what exactly happened there. Looks like it was between the 88 of Gregory Thompson and the 16 of Chris Brown. Now let's see, right there's a little contact between the 88 and the 16. We see the 16. Wow, he actually ended up going through the pace car. That has scared the shit out of Brett Bodine. Let's go on board with Chris. I want to see this one. There's the contact, there's the wall, there's the slide. And there's him going through the pace car. But great job gathering that truck back up, getting it refired in the correct direction. As we see everybody once again filing down into their pit boxes here. Watch everybody making their way off the pit road here. We see the two Rick C brands leaving the 44 of David Anderson. 00 Dwayne Cooper, then 99 of Tom LeVar. A few drivers opting to stay on pit road, including the 88 there to get some of the damage repaired. See the 95 of Christopher Berry making his way. I think the one that we failed to see the most was the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach. He had hard contact, and we saw the quick fix was used there by the 29 machine. So once he gets his service done there, he will have a brand new truck here for the final stage of the race. Meanwhile, out front right now, it is showing the 97 of Jeremy Funk as our race leader. Jeremy more than likely opting to stay out for a lap lead, as he will come down pit road. So that will give the lead over to the 3 of Paul Servant, the 66 of Bobby Tinch second, the 8 of Dana Osborne third, the 16 of Chris Brown fourth, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. fifth, Justin Levine in the 4 sixth, the 2 of Rick Seabrand seventh, the 44 of David Anderson eighth, the 20 of Pondeco ninth, and the 26 of Daniel Holloway will round out the top 10. All right, Mike, here comes the crucial question. We've seen what's gone on, especially at the last lap of both stages. What do you think we're going to see here in the final stage? And it better not be the one word.
No, I won't say it. But you know, these guys are, no matter what, everyone in this field is going for the win. It doesn't matter who it is. It's going to be aggressive. You know, they'll probably ride around for a few laps here and try to work their way up to the front, but these guys are just super aggressive, so these guys are going to be going at it, and I would probably be willing to bet that there will be a caution coming up here soon, because some guys are going to go for it.
I'm definitely seeing the 66 of Bobby Tinch in the mix here. He's going to be sandwiched around Southern Thunder. He's definitely going to have to make a move. So we see also the 16 of Chris Brown, the 4 of Justin Levine. There's several fast drivers here inside the top 10. It's really going to come down to who's going to do what. As we see the 66, the 8, and several other drivers. The 4, I believe also the 2, and pretty much the whole back half of the field is going to come down to top it off. The 3 of Paul Servant's going to stay out, so that's going to shake up the restart order here as the lights on the pace car are out. So once everybody makes it around here, we'll give you an updated top 10 here. looking at the top 10, we got the 3 of Paul Servant restarting with the race lead. The 16 of Chris Brown is outside. The 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. will restart third. The 44 of David Anderson fourth. The 20 of Pondoco fifth. The 88 of Gregory Thompson sixth. The 95 of Christopher Berry seventh. The 00 of Dwayne Cooper eighth. Somehow the 94 of Roddy Klein ninth, and Tom LeVar in the 99 will round up the top 10. And as always, since we are getting ready to restart, we're going to go ahead and jump to the Crank It Up cameras, let the Mustang pace car make its way down pit road, and get the final stage underway.
Green flag.
And as they make their way off of turn 4, we can see that the 3, the 81, and the 44 have hooked up on the inside. So Paul Servant with the race lead right now. That'll be his 20th lap led of the night, so that makes him tonight's lap leader so far. Meanwhile, we look a little bit further back. We see the 94 and the 95 trying to work together there. They're getting passed on the outside by the 29. It's interesting to see how this top group is coming. As you see the 88 of Gregory Thompson, the 4 Justin Levine, the 99 of Tom LeVar. It's almost like we have 2 different races going on. We got the battle here for the lead, and then we got the battle for everything after that. As you see a little bit of a wiggle there between Welzenbach and Thompson. You see now the 4 of Justin Levine as well as the 88 of Gregory Thompson. They're going to drop down to the inside line as we look at the 20 of Pondo Co. Right now being scored in 6th position right there. We can see the 4 of Justin Levine has made his way back up to the top group, as well as the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. They're going to have to catch up to the back of the 16 of Chris Brown, as right now he is only relying on side draft to get anything going. But we can see the run now that the 00 and the 4 is getting. They'll be able to hook up right behind the 16 there, as they've got several other drivers now that are going to be... We're going to see this probably the rest of the race. Drivers constantly switching lines here to try and get every ounce of track position they can get here. And that outside line doing what it's doing here, I think we're going to see Chris Brown. We will. Chris Brown leading his 2nd lap of the night. Once again, we can see the run there between the 4 and the 00. I think one of the key things to note here with these trucks here, especially when you get them 3 at a time, the person in the middle kind of has to be like a regulator valve. They're getting pushed from the truck behind, but they also have to not carry too much momentum into the truck in front of them, but if they let off too much, they kind of get ping-ponged around. They have to keep from turning the truck in front of them, all while keeping speed up at the same time. So it's an acquired skill that has to be done here, and the amount of plate track racing I've been doing lately in the hosted series has been invaluable to me. I was learning how to do this and when to time a run and when to back off and let something happen. And usually 9 times out of 10, when you get that weird little feeling that something might go wrong and you let out, usually it does happen and you end up avoiding it. As we see right now, I'm gonna have to go ahead and use the word. It is chaos back here as everybody is fighting for position back here. As we've got the breakaway front pack, and then we've just got this jumbled mess of trucks back here behind the 20 of Fondo Coso. From 8th back, these guys are double file racing for position. To see the run off of turn 4, it's going to favor the outside line once again for the 16 of Chris Brown, easily with another lap led here tonight. That'll be his 3rd in the books as he is able to finally drop down in front of the 3 of Paul Servin. That'll leave the door open for the 00 and the 4. You see the 00 got a little bit high there. 4 had to check up a little bit, but they're still hooked up. As now the 20 of Pondo Co finally has some help as the 88 of Gregory Thompson, the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach, and the 26 of Daniel Holloway has got to his back bumper. That'll allow the 20 to get pushed up towards the back of the 44 David Anderson. As we see the 00 Dwayne Cooper in the wall, 3 wide out of turn 4. And leading his 4th lap of the night will be the 16 of Chris Brown. As now we see the 4 of Justin Levine. These guys are constantly doing what we normally saw these trucks do before iRacing started nerfing the plate track racing here. We're seeing the guys leapfrogging here from the outside to the inside. We see the 16 pulling off on the backstretch. He clipped the apron a little bit there coming off of turn 2 there, so rather than compromise the truck, he did the smart move and he pulled down to the apron to gather it back up. But now that'll allow the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. to get back around the 4 of Justin Levine, as we see the 3 and the 00 have hooked up on the outside, and they also have the 99 of Tom Labar up there. As we are down now to 12 laps to go. If these guys can keep this one green, I think this is going to be one hell of a finish here. Word that the 88 will be coming down pit road. He's got a couple paper, the 29 and the 94 coming down pit road. So we're seeing some drivers that might have had a different strategy plan here. They're coming down for final sets of stops here. So look for the rest of the field to start doing the same. And we have our first retiree of the race. The 94 Roddy Klein is taking that truck behind the wall, so they've got that thing loaded up on the hauler. They're going to move it on to Talladega. You see out front, it's still the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. being pushed by the 4 of Justin Levine. On the outside, we see the 3 of Paul Servant, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper, the 72 of Daniel Jackson, and the 26 of Daniel Holloway, as well as the 16 of Chris Brown there. After a few laps back, the 16 having to bail off to the inside after clipping the apron. Great rebound by the 16 as he is being scored right now in 9th position. So great rebound there by the 16. We're under 10 laps to go now. I think we're going to start seeing some of the more aggressive moves being made here. Seen a lot of guys now that are starting to favor the bottom line. We see the 00 now bailing down. I think we're going to see some green flag pit stops happening here within the next couple laps. That lap led there by the 81. That'll give him his 21st lap of the night. So he's right there with his teammate. The 3 of Paul Servant right now, our current lap leader with 24. The junior's only got to make a few more to tie that and then beat it. And here we see another mass exodus down pit road again. Southern Thunder has made their way down pit road with a couple other trucks. That'll be the 4 Justin Levine. So that'll hand the race lead over to the 72 of Daniel Jackson. Behind him, we can see the 26 of Daniel Holloway, the 16 of Chris Brown, the 44 of David Anderson, the 99 of Tom Labar, the 20 of Pondo Co, the 66 of Bobby Tinch, the 95 of Christopher Berry, the 2 of Rick Seabrands, and then from there on back is all drivers that have pitted. Now we see the rest of the field coming down the pit, minus 2 drivers. That'd be the 66 and the 2. And it looks like the 00 got a commitment cone violation coming into pit road there, so that's a green flag stop. Correction, that is a 15-second hold. I forgot there's 2 different violations you can get. As we see how things are shaking out right now, the race lead being held currently by the 66 of Bobby Tinch. He's got the 2 of Rick Seabrands behind him, the 72 of Daniel Jackson, the 44 of David Anderson. But this group of guys is fresh off of pit road here, so if they can get lined up and get this thing going, they've got 5 laps here to make the move. This is where it's going to come down to who has the most trucks in line and who has the better setup. You see the 44 of David Anderson looking to the outside of the 72 of Daniel Jackson. We are 3 wide here between the 4, the 44, and the 72 as they gather it back up now. You see Justin glued to the back bumper of that 81 machine as they come down the backstretch. They should take over the bottom line right now. Mark's playing a delicate game because he's got to kind of feel out what Justin's going to do. Is he going to stay committed with him, or is he going to try and move to the outside? As now we see the 4 is going to dip back to the outside line where he's got some help there, so that's going to favor the outside line as they come to take the stripe here, so Justin will lead that lap. With 4 laps remaining here, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to do what, especially with how powerful this outside line has become here. So we see the 44, Dave Anderson, he's going to drop to the inside now. That'll cycle the 20 of Pondo Co. second truck there on the outside groove. Now at the line, it'll be a close race. And by a nose hair, it'll be the 44 of David Anderson leading that lap. 0.004. Now we see the 81, he's going to dip back down to the inside in front of the 44, so that'll inherit the lead back over on the inside. As we see the run the outside now is getting here on the backstretch. This is going to be 5 on 4 here. Who's going to keep transferring position here? As we see, it's basically been a battle of leapfrog all night. And right now we see the 20, the 4, the 99, the 3, and the 8 up there on the high groove. Look for the 4 to probably drop here pretty soon. Because I know Justin, if he gets cleared, he's going to take that spot because he wants to get around that 81 as much as he's willing to push. As we see now, the 3 and the 8 look like they're getting ready to get something going here. This is the white flag for the race here, so if you're going to make your move, now is going to be the time to do it. What they do down the backstretch here is going to dictate how it shakes up off of turn 4. So this is going to be for the race win here. Who's going to get it, the 81 or the 4? And Mark Jorgensen Jr. is going to get the win here tonight at Daytona. That was one hell of a finish. The guys kept it clean and green to the end. That's exactly the way I wanted to see it play out. And it looked like there on the backstretch, there's a little bit of indecisiveness between the 3 and the 8, which caused a little bit of separation there on the outside line, which ultimately led to the 81 bringing it home in victory lane. And Mike, you know as well as me, this is going to be one hell of a winner's interview tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime Junior's in here, it's always good.
All right, so your front 3 will be the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr., the 4 of Justin Levine, and the 44 of David Anderson. And these guys have to race this out or pace it out under caution to make it official. But before we get the interviews underway here, I think the thing that we need to point out is, especially when it comes to open set racing, Southern Thunder took all 3 stages here tonight. And something is telling me, like my spidey senses are tingling, Mark is probably already doing a little happy dance in his race seat right now, because I know it's going to be one hell of an interview coming up here. All right, so while these guys are going to finish out the race under pacing, we're going to bring in our 3rd place finisher, the 44 of Dave Anderson. All right, Dave, you guys kept it clean and green for one hell of a finish. Brought it home 3rd. How's it feel?
That feels pretty good. Really would have liked to got the win there, but I don't know. Couldn't ever seem to get up there and stay up there.
It almost to me seemed tonight like we weren't in the trucks. It almost felt like we were in a CTSV race. It seemed to be that the outside line was the place to be, and it was just leapfrog after leapfrog as we saw it all throughout the first stage, the second stage, and definitely here in the last one. But that outside line definitely had some power, and we know that it comes down to the setup here. As rough as this track is, how is the 44 truck dialed in tonight?
I actually had a really good race set. Everybody that I was behind all night long was backing me up in the corners. I had so much more speed in the corner. If I could have got up on that higher line and you know, had a chance there at the end, I think I would have definitely taken this thing. But that was a good win for Mark. You know, and Justin up there. I mean, that was some pretty good racing.
No, third on the board is definitely going to be a good points night, and we know it's going to be one hell of an interview when we get Junior up in the booth. Or we might actually have a destroyed booth by the time he's done with it. But once again, congratulations on the third. Is there anybody out there that you'd like to thank?
Well, I'd like to thank our sponsor tonight, Jack Daniels. And, of course, Dwayne for running the league. And I want to thank you for broadcasting this thing. Your broadcasts are great and always fun to go back and watch them.
All right, well, once again, congratulations on the third place. We love covering this series. You guys always never fail to put on one hell of a show, and we'll see you next week at Talladega.
Yeah, take care, Art.
That was the 44 of Dave Anderson, our third place finisher. Now we'll bring in the 4 of Justin Levine. All right, Justin, we almost thought you had it. I had my bets on you, but it came down to a move on the backstretch that cost a little bit of speed there going into 3 on the high groove, but you brought it home second in one hell of a finish here. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels great. Just to be back in the top 3. Been having no luck this season, but feels great. Mark did a hell of a job to outrun me there. I really thought I was going to get him. When I looked down going into 3, I saw David was on him already, and Pondo wasn't right there. I was like, oh, I don't got it. So I tried. I can't believe the truck actually stayed with him for that long. I thought he was going to have like maybe a door or so past me, but it was close. That was fun.
Well, the one thing that I pointed out tonight is this race felt more like a CTSV. Y'all were leapfrogging that outside line. That seemed to be the place to be. We all know the 07 is notoriously bumpy, and with the open set, that is pretty much your only deciding factor is whether you can run the bottom groove or ride a pogo stick, as we saw several trucks were able to stay on that bottom groove, but we definitely saw that the upper groove had all the speed, all the momentum, as you guys were just constantly, all 3 stages, we saw lead change after lead change after lead change, and it all came from that high side. How dialed in was your truck tonight?
Oh, the truck was so fast. I had such big runs on the high side that I had checked so hard that I thought I was going to punch somebody. Getting, like, my truck loves, like, the middle, and if I just get right there, the truck is perfect. I love it. I love this track. This is definitely out of, you know, the new Daytona and Dega. I'd rather come here every week.
No, definitely, it never fails to put on a show with knowing its old historic roots and it just how, I mean, no matter what camera angle we tried to use here to show how bumpy the track is, it does not do justice unless you get on iRacing and do it yourself. A lot of people probably couldn't even make it 2 or 3 laps without losing the truck here. It's just absolutely brutal. You bring it home second. Great show of force. You're dominant all night. Is there anybody out there that you'd like to thank?
I want to thank you guys. You guys do such an awesome broadcast. I love going back and watching it and listening to the interviews and stuff. Dwayne, Jim Peterson, everyone else that puts this on and comes and shows up every week. My teammates, and that's about it.
All right, well, once again, congratulations on the second, and we'll see you next week at Talladega, hopefully in Victory Lane.
Thanks. Have a good night.
That was our second place finisher, the 4 of Justin Levine. Now it's time to bring Mr. Party Boy in. Go ahead, Mike. All right, Mark, you did it. Go ahead.
Man, baby, how you doing?
I'm doing fucking fantastic, and I know you are too now.
Oh, yeah, man, that was, wow, that was really close, man. I went back and took a look at that damn replay, and Justin was leading by a bumper coming into the tri-oval, and I guess being on the bottom, man, that much just made all the difference, man. That was awesome. That was really close. That was pretty cool.
It was a .011 finish there. That almost had to break out a tape measure on that one.
Oh, yeah, it should have been a little bit closer. He should have been down on my door a little bit. Would have probably been a little bit tighter. But, man, I'm sure David probably felt like, he owed me one from a couple weeks back. But, man, it's just fun racing. Come out here, run like all hell. There's going to be wrecks. That's part of it. But I really don't – I think we might have had 1 or 2 cautions or whatever tonight other than the stages. But, That's good. I mean, this track is something else, and the setup that Team Southern Thunder was racing tonight, man, that son of a bitch was dragging, but man, it was fast. God dog, it was fast.
That's the one thing that we saw all night. It seemed that it was more of a CTSV race than it was a truck race. If you've ever raced a CTSV, you're constantly leapfrogging position. That outside line just had so much freaking speed in it, and we always saw somebody move up, recycled down to the bottom, and it was just constant all the way through. And I believe early on we had, coming to the end of the first stage, we did have a wreck which brought out, but it would have brought the caution out anyways. And then after that, we only had one other incident between that. But hell of a freaking race tonight. You guys were definitely on point, and as Justin had pointed out, he absolutely loves this track, being as brutal as it is. We know that if you got a bad set, you're going to be a fucking pogo stick. If you got something that's dragging ass on the ground, it doesn't really seem to matter because it doesn't affect the bumps as bad, and we saw that. You, Paul, Dana, and Dwayne, if he's not wrecking the entire field, when y'all get together, y'all are always fast. And it comes down to consistency, especially at a track like 07 here. And I don't think we could have seen a better finish than what we saw tonight.
Oh, it was, the finish was really, really close. I thought whenever, I think Justin shoved David out ahead of me with like 2 or 3 laps to go or whatever, and I was kind of sweating it because I was like, man, I'm going to get pinned down here on the bottom. That's not where I want to be. But things worked out, and I was able to work myself up to the outside. And once I'm telling you, man, this truck was super, super fast on the outside. And I know the bumps play a huge factor in that, but man, I just felt like whenever I got up to the outside, I just had like 100 more horsepower than everybody. Man, I could suck up to the truck ahead of me and shove them way on out there, going down the backstretch, and them guys would always jump low, and the guys on the bottom, the car on the bottom, would just take so long to get to that lead truck. And by that point, hell, I think me and a few other guys ended up clearing the bottom lane. But yeah, it's good stuff. Just teamwork all night, man. I think Team Southern Thunder did really good. Pit stops were decent. I think we had a little hiccup here and there, but that's part of it. I think other guys are getting a lot better when it comes to green flag pit stops, working together as a team. I mean, it never failed, whenever we'd all get lined back out, coming out of pit lane, that second wave of trucks would come down, and, we'd always have to hustle to try to get back by them. But, it worked out, was able to bring home a team win. I think this locks myself into the chase, I believe. I don't know if we got to be so far up in the points or whatever, but we're going to see what we can do, man. I mean, we swept all the damn stages in the race win. I mean, you can't get no better than that.
No, and sadly, I think the only bad note that we have is Brett Bodine's a little pissed off that he didn't get to get his shit faces he normally does driving the pace car under caution.
Yeah, he had a quiet night for sure, but he got to get out there for a couple laps anyways. But we'd rather him stay on pit lane. Just keep him parked, let us go at it. And, if we'll see what happens.
I think more so what scared him to stay down there was when Chris Brown ghosted through him when he was sliding back down the track. So Brett might have shit himself a little, and he might have actually stayed a little bit sober tonight. So that's why we saw him down there. But not to take away from the race, one hell of a job. You swept all 3 stages. Great night for the team. You brought home the W, and I do believe that does lock you in the chase. A win is a win, and it puts you in to the first round. So that's a great feeling to have in the books. As we move on to Talladega next week, I know you. I know the past with the history of Talladega. Just go ahead and tell me you're going to win it now.
Oh man, I'm probably going to end up on the tow hook. Daytona 07. We all know it's bumpy as hell, and I think it's just pretty much luck. Granted, you got to have a pretty decent setup, but and we had that, but just basically survived. I didn't have this damn reset that I got. It should roll over to next week. You would think. I didn't use the damn thing all night, which is pretty neat, but I mean, I much prefer the smoother tracks. You can get a lot closer to your competition. But with that being said, I mean, we're probably going to have a crap load of wrecks next week. I'll just go ahead and say that. We're going to be door to door, 3 wide, 4 wide at times. But that's what's fun, man. It's cool to be working with a group of guys like Dana, Paul, and Dwayne, and hell, even the other guys, man. there's a handful of guys in this league, man. You know, and I'm going to go ahead and give another huge shout out to Justin Levine because I remember whenever, you know, I started racing around him in this league and another league. I mean, that guy right there he impresses me, man. I love racing with him, man. You know, I'm the kind of guy that I like to be aggressive and pinch like a son of a bitch when I probably shouldn't have. And, you know, it just gets me rock hard when other guys do that to me. And Justin, I mean, he is so damn good at it, man. You know, God, it's just so fun racing him. But just a huge shout out to him. But just want to go ahead and say that, you know, get that out there, Justin. You know, if you're listening, man, you're doing good, buddy. Keep it up.
Oh my God, the one thing that I always look forward to is knowing that I have to get my straight face back on when interviewing you because you always make me fucking laugh.
Rock hard, buddy.
With that being said, before I burst into laughter on the broadcast, is there anybody that you'd like to thank before we cut you loose for the night?
Oh yeah, you know, I always say it doesn't matter, you know, what admin or whatever, you know, whoever puts these league races on, but you know, I just think it's so cool and you know, and I'm, you know, putting Dwayne out there, but you know, just so cool that there's guys on iRacing that would spend their hard-earned money to do something like this for a group of guys to get together on a Saturday night and just race their ass off, you know, and we don't have to pay nothing, which is surprising. I mean, if we did, you know, I would still continue to race, but you know, he doesn't ask us to pay nothing. There's payouts, you know, win the race. Obviously, you know, I got in Dwayne's pocketbook tonight. Dwayne, you got my PayPal info. Send it to me, buddy. I'm waiting on it. But no, in all seriousness, you know, just a huge shout out to Dwayne for putting this on. Art, Mike, you know, y'all do a good job. I mean, I promise you, whenever I'm laying in bed right there next to my amazing wife, I'm definitely going to get this broadcast up and watch it. You know, y'all do a damn good job. Art, you know, amazing in the broadcast booth. Man, who else? Team Southern Thunder. Hey, boys. Paul, Dana, Dwayne. We kicked their fucking ass tonight, homie. I mean, swept the stages, swept the race. Man, we probably going to be looking real good in that team championship. Man, who else? Just another shout out to Justin again, man. Like I said, I truly do think that he has come a long ways from the first days that I started racing around him. I mean, it's just so fucking awesome, man. And like I said, I mean, you know, I know we at times in Daytona 07, you know, we all in team speak, you know, talk about people pinching and this, that, and the other. But like I said, man, you know, I love it when guys do that to me because, you know, it keeps me honest. But who else? Man, Jim Peterson, the damn series sponsor, you know, Homes Now, Not Later. You know, y'all go check that out. You know, he is something else as an individual, man. I'm sure he's probably watching the broadcast right now, listening to me talk. You know, give him a shout out. I'm sure he's toking it up, man. Jim, go ahead and light it up for me, brother. Man, I'm probably missing somebody, man. I want to make sure that I get them all, but it's just so hard. You know, I don't want to keep y'all, you know, going off into midnight, you know, trying to get my little shout out. But just another shout out to Team Southern Thunder. You know, guys, I appreciate it. You know, y'all are amazing.
Once again, congratulations on the race win and sweeping tonight's race for Southern Thunder. We look forward to seeing what y'all have in mind next week at Talladega. So, any final words that you want to say before we send you off and get this thing wrapped up in the books?
I'm sure old Team Southern Thunder, you know, we're going to get together next week. You know, we're going to go to the Talladega Super Speedway. I think we're in the K&N cars. I mean, we're going to go ahead and serve up an ass whooping. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it.
All right. Well, once again, congratulations on the race win, and we'll see if y'all can do it again at Dega next week.
All right. Thanks, Art. Mike, y'all take care.
All right. That was our race winner, and we would like to also thank Rick Seabrands tonight for sponsoring the race. We all know that Rick alternates back and forth between the Yeti paint scheme and the Jack Daniels tonight. Rick sponsored tonight's race. So shout out to him for doing that, and also, as the drivers had also said, shout out to Dwayne for putting the league on, Jim for coming on with Homes Now, Not Later. It's been one hell of a night. My mind has been scrambled, and Mark's got a good way of getting inside your head and really twisting the wires around. So if I screw up some words, I'm just going to blame it on him. But definitely one hell of a race tonight. Great finish there. What the hell was it, Mike? 0.11?
Yep, 0.11.
It doesn't get any better than that. We saw a good, clean green finish. Came down to who was going to work with who. We saw a couple of incidences. We just saw one bump gone bad, but all in all, I think this is probably one of the best races. And ironically, it always seems to be. It's here at Daytona 07. So, Mike, any final words before we jump off of here?
I'm pretty sure after that interview with Junior, there's nothing I could say. But
I know, right?
yeah, it was a great race. It was fun to watch. I mean, that was probably the cleanest 07 race I've ever seen. I mean, there was one real accident and a couple little minor hiccups with some idiots, but you know, it was just little things here and there, and it was a great race to watch. And I look forward to next week as always.
All right, well, once again, we want to thank everybody at Cyber for all they do, putting this league on. Everybody at Homes Now, Home Not Later for coming on and help paying the bills, keeping the lights on. Rick Seabrands for sponsoring tonight's race. Everybody here on YouTube. Don't forget, tomorrow night we will be live on the iRacing portal of the Die Hard Racing League as the JMR Outdoors American Hero Hunt Cup Series takes on Bristol Motor Speedway in the Monster Energy Cup cars. That one is going to be one hell of a show. I'm definitely going to be interested to see how the guys deal as we go to the first short track of the season. But once again, that's going to wrap everything up here tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was one hell of a race. We always have a blast every time we come out here. These guys always put on a show. And we will see you guys next week.